I have some understanding of Indian national regime of IPR. I believe Taiwan cannot be different because the fundamentals are similar. I would like to say like this: the IPR regime, national or international, with reference to the IPRs of the communities, traditional knowledge and biodiversity, which contains huge IPRs of the communities. The IPR regimes, both at the international and national levels, I believe, is causing molestation. I use this term intentionally as far as the communities IPR are concerned, which you have in the form of biodiversity and the traditional. I think my point shall be more substantiated when Dr. Radha shall be presenting her paper and trying to tell us. I wish that she could have done her before me. My job would have become a little easier. The culture, the cultural products in all and any form, the cultural diversity has its direct linkages with the biodiversity, and both are embodiments of huge volume of IPRs belonging to the communities. If you look into the international regime, the tricks has played, it has not even thought about protecting the communities' IPRs at all. Before I make that point, I want to go quickly through my transparencies, because in that case it shall be very easy for me to bring my theme around and conclusion easily accessible to the audience. So if I say like this, that the function of IPR is to commodify knowledge which is commercially viable. It has different functions to inform in different societies. With reference to capitalist societies, I think the function of IPR is to commodify commercially viable knowledge, privatize it, and market it for profit making. And probably the function in a socialist society is different. Or maybe their IPR regimes try to commodify the commercially viable knowledge so that it may be protected from the pirates around and socialize it for the society's purposes. I am very aware of the fact that profit making is not a respectable thing in socialist understanding. It is a crime. So having said that, if you look into the IPR products, I think main IPR products in this slide I have listed different categories of economic resources, and commercially viable knowledge is I have listed as one of the economic resource with which the IPR deals with. So if you look into this point, I have already made the different functions with the IPR laws they do in capitalist and the socialist society. Let us have a look into the main products of IPR. For example, patents. If you look into the national or international IPR regimes, they very well take care of the private and corporate IPRs. But it's not accidentally that they are not taking care of at all the public knowledge products of IPR, of the communities products in the form of biodiversity and the traditional knowledge. I find no protection in the TRIPS as well as in the national IPR regimes which India has created. And I believe it must be the same situation in almost all the countries which subscribe to the capitalist mode of production. I find linkages between the economic system and the IPR system. To my understanding, the IPR is a natural outcome of the level of the kind of production relations we have, and the commodification which it tries to make. So IPR is a higher level of production relations in a capitalist society, and naturally it's trying to protect the IPRs in that society, but not taking care of the IPRs of the communities. So the second serious major product of IPR is the copyright. So there is ample production provided by the national or the international IPR regimes for the private these entertainment products, creative products. But as far as the public products, the communities products, in terms of creativity, folk, culture, I hardly find any production. But you find a lot of instances the public products in entertainment products being stolen by any private individual and using it for commercial purposes without caring to share the huge profits they may be making out of that. So then you have two more IP products which are not seriously, to my understanding, are IPR products, but in the nature of protecting the goodwills in the form of trademarks or geographical indication. Now this point I have already referred to. The TRIPS, Article 27, doesn't provide any protection for the communities' IPRs, whether they are creative products or they are scientific products in the form of traditional knowledge or the biodiversity. However, you have a corresponding international regimes, CBD, which has adequately protection for the intellectual property rights of the communities. And you find there is a contradiction between these two international covenants, and we have to strike a balance somewhere. So in order to resolve this contradiction between TRIPS and CBD, we have to strike some accommodation of these two regimes. And the more fair regime is in CBD, and which seeks accommodation in TRIPS. And for the last many years, many countries trying to make this point out in the party conferences of WTO, but still the Americans and their lobbyists, sorry to make this point, they are not allowing the interested parties to succeed, and this is going on. I'm sorry that we are not in a position to go to the next slide. This slide is there. Yeah. Just to make out the point which I made just earlier, a few minutes ago, that the prospectants at the international level and the national level as well, they are trying to steal, pirate the public traditional knowledge and seeking patents. And I am giving you a few of the examples listed here. The patent sought in different countries has been also listed here, based on the traditional knowledge of the communities, and which were challenged, and the patents has been cancelled.